Hold up, the Biden administration bombed a 56-year-old shepherd just tending his sheep? Hey guys, my name's Jason Wesley, and this is not a podcast.
The U.S. is walking back claims that a drone strike in Syria earlier this month killed a senior leader of the terrorist group Al-Qaeda. The family of the man killed told CNN he was just a 56-year-old shepherd with 10 kids, zero connections to terrorism. Is that right, that the strike did not kill the senior Al-Qaeda leader? It killed a civilian, and if it is true that it was a civilian killed, is anyone going to be held accountable?
So we just out here sending Hellfire missiles bombing random people to get some sort of military win now? Because we know our U.S. military has gone downhill since the Biden administration and their policies and woke propaganda. The U.S. Army Secretary said that the Army fell short of its recruiting goal by 15,000 people.
Undersecretaries from the Army, Air Force, Navy spoke to a new battle that they're facing right now. Historic decline in recruits. This month, the Air Force projected it's on track to miss its 2023 recruiting goal by 10%.
Also, the culture that's been created in society of laziness, victimhood, entitlement, and lack of parenting is what I believe the reason most youth are unfit for military service today.
We have an academic test that recruits are required to take, and it used to be 2/3 passed. Now only 1/3 pass. And then on the body weight size or the physical fitness side, we're just seeing a lot less young men and women. And we don't know if that's because of COVID the last 2 years, maybe sports programs, virtual education. There's a lot of reasons why it could be. But what we do know is we want to give these young men and women that want to serve an opportunity to serve, and they have to meet the standards.
Even more young Americans are unfit to serve, a new study finds. Here's why. A new study from the Pentagon shows that 77% of young Americans would not qualify for military service without a waiver due to being overweight, using drugs, or having mental and physical health problems. Now, this video isn't about that, although I've briefly spoke about that in other episodes, but the morale in the military has been down tremendously over the last couple of years. One reason is because of the COVID mandates forcing servicemen and women to be vaccinated, otherwise we kick them out of the military.
What becomes of the more than 8,400 service members who were kicked out for refusing the vaccine, and how likely is it for the military to reinstate those who were discharged for refusing to get the shot?
I'm glad the mandate is being lifted. Now I'd like to see them create an avenue for these service members to get back into the force.
And the other reason is because of the debacle of the pullout of Afghanistan and the administration leaving a kill list to the Taliban, thousands of people being left behind and 13 service members dead after a bombing at the Abbey Gate at Kabul airport. And for those who don't remember or know, the Biden administration pulled out the troops first, left billions of dollars worth of equipment, and also left thousands of civilians, and then sent the Taliban a list of people that they wanted to evacuate. So the Taliban literally had a list of people that they could kill.
Well, there was a Pentagon official in that report that referred to this as a kill list. Are you disputing that any of this information was given, or are you just disputing that it was a huge comprehensive list? I mean, maybe there was a smaller list and those SIVs did not get into the airport. Is there any chance that happened?
So then the U.S. had to send troops back into Afghanistan to get the people out, and the top brass and the Biden administration let one of the largest airports get taken over. So it became a shit show of actually trying to evacuate people to a point where people were hanging on wheel wells of airplanes trying to get out. And then there was a bombing at the Abbey Gate, leaving 13 service members dead. And you know who didn't show up to their funerals? Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. And then after the bombing, Joe Biden said that he would find the person responsible. And so he ordered a strike on a van, supposedly killing the person that was responsible for the bombing. Turns out he killed an Afghan interpreter and almost 10 kids in this van.
Fallout is spreading after the Pentagon's shocking admission that the drone strike in Kabul hit an aid worker and his family, not an ISIS-K member. And as the surviving family members and friends say, an apology is not enough.
And of course, the mainstream media and top brass in the military, General Milley, shrug their shoulders and then move on as if it didn't even happen. And then at the end of April of 2023, literally like a month ago, this story drops. This is from Politico. Taliban takeout mastermind of bombing that killed 13 U.S. troops in Afghanistan. The terrorist leader responsible for planning the attack on Abbey Gate during the evacuation from Kabul airport that killed 13 American service members was killed in a Taliban operation in Afghanistan. The U.S. government had no part in the Taliban raid, which took place in recent weeks, said a senior administration official who, like others interviewed for this story, who were granted anonymity to speak ahead of a formal U.S. announcement. The officials declined to say exactly when the raid occurred or name the terrorists killed, citing sensitivities. The officials declined to say exactly when the raid occurred or the name of the terrorists killed. color me skeptical. Yeah, we didn't have anything to do with it, but the Taliban took care of that person y'all were looking for. Oh, where did the raid occur? We can't say exactly. Oh, what was his name? We can't say due to sensitivities. Really? So you expect me to believe the Taliban killed the person that was responsible 2 years later for bombing the Abbey Gate that killed 13 service members? And you can't give me any information. So now the Biden administration apparently ordered a drone strike to kill another senior Al-Qaeda leader, and turns out it wasn't who they thought it was. Go figure. Washington Post. U.S. officials walk back claim drone strike killed senior Al-Qaeda leader. U.S. military officials are walking back claims that a recent strike in Syria killed an influential Al-Qaeda figure, following assertions by the dead man's family that he had no ties to terrorists, but was a father of 10 tending his sheep when he was slain by an American missile. Lotfi Hassan Misto, 56, whose family identified him as the victim of a Hellfire missile attack on May 3rd, was a former bricklayer who lived quietly in this town in northwest Syria, according to interviews with his brother, son, and 6 others who knew him. They described him a kind, hardworking man whose whole life was spent poor. Now, I know this is probably news to you because there's not been wall-to-wall coverage on mainstream media. But check this out. We are no longer confident that we killed a senior AQ official, one official said. The other, offering a slightly different view, said, though we believe the strike did not kill the original target, we believe the person to be Al-Qaeda. Both spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss preliminary determinations of an ongoing investigation into the incident. Well, the American people are no longer confident in this administration. This is from May 7th, 2023. Biden's approval rating hits new low. The poll shows a dip in the president's approval 2 weeks after he announced his re-election bid. Biden's approval rating dipped to 36%, down from February and just below his previous low in 2022. A significantly higher percentage of people, 56%, disapprove of the job the president has done so far. And the majority of Democrats surveyed, 58%, said they would rather Democrats pick someone else to be the presidential nominee. Finally, something we agree on. Apparently, we just shoot everything but what we actually need to hit. A Chinese spy balloon flies completely across the United States. In Montana, Biden says, gives the word, shoot it down, and we wait until it's off the coast of South Carolina before we finally shoot it down. But then 5 seconds later, we shoot down a balloon that was from Party City.
Good morning. Microsoft out with a new warning. It says that Chinese state-sponsored hackers compromise critical U.S. cyber infrastructure across numerous industries with a focus on gathering intelligence. The National Security Administration issued a bulletin detailing how the hack works and how cybersecurity teams should respond. The attack is apparently still ongoing. The infiltration focused on communication infrastructure in Guam and other parts of the U.S. That was particularly alarming to U.S. intelligence services because Guam would be at the heart of an American military response in the case of an invasion of Taiwan. It's where a large part, Becky, of our B-1 bomber bases or bombers are based.
Yeah, and look, if Microsoft has picked this up, if we know this is out there, couple that with the weather balloons, spy balloons, satellites that they had sent over, and look, there's a lot of things that are happening.
I'm sure this has nothing to do with anything that we've discussed. But no worries, our leaders know exactly what to do. We'll probably just bomb a Japanese man in a rice field.
Will you be mine?